Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the 2019 UAE Public Policy Forum, held under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai and Chairman of the Executive Council. A reminder that the strategic partner for this year's event is the Federal Competitiveness and Statistics Authority, which many of you will know as the FCSA. We'd like to thank them once again for their vital input. Yesterday, we spoke a little bit about the history of this public policy forum, first started by the Mohammed bin Rashid School of Government in 2017, and the reason why we're all here, which is to accelerate the implementation of the 17 SDGs. So far in this forum, we've heard from a series of high-level panels and speakers about how we can go forward with this acceleration and how we can mainstream these SDGs into national and local policies. Today, we're going to go even further. We're going to explore and break down some of those areas for development. Areas like education, technology, and data. Then, after lunch, after we've heard from our keynote speaker, we'll be going back into some interactive workshops for you all to engage with, and we got some great feedback about those workshops yesterday. We're also going to be taking more of a sort of macro view, stepping back once again, understanding why we're all here, asking how achievable are these SDGs. As with yesterday, you will note from your agenda, we're going to be having a series of high-level panels and also some of these Forum Sparks talks, which I know you enjoyed yesterday, the sort of briefer TED Talk style, one person on the stage giving you a bit of context. Once again, and for those of you joining us here for the first time today, we'd just like to go over some brief housekeeping notes. As with yesterday, some of the sessions will be in Arabic, while others will be in English. Translation services are being provided through headsets. Also, the school has published several papers that you can download straight to your phone. This is a paper-free event, so how you can do that is you will see outside banners with QR codes that you can use your smartphone to scan. That will download the publication straight onto your phone, and you can read them along with some of the discussions. Each panel will be moderated by a dedicated moderator. If that moderator is going to open up the discussion to questions from the audience, they'll let you know, and then you can raise your hand. Other than that, we ask you to please make your contributions via social media. You can do this using the official hashtag, which is #AcceleratingSDGs. You will see this printed around the conference in Arabic and in English. I'd just like to make a personal shout out to whoever is handling the Mohammed bin Rashid School of Government Twitter account. I actually don't know who that is, but I'd like to meet them because the tweets they were putting out yesterday were so informative, really well done, and that really is an art. So do engage with them on that. As you can see, we do encourage you to use your phones throughout the event, but it goes without saying, please make sure they're set to silent so you don't interrupt the people on the stage. My name is Rosanna Lockwood. I'm a Dubai-based broadcast journalist and presenter, and it's a pleasure to be with you all here today. Now, without further ado, we're going to be heading into our first Forum Sparks talk of the day. For this, we're going to be hearing from Lara Dahan. She is manager of the National and Regional Networks for the Sustainable Development Solutions Network. She's going to be speaking to us about the role universities play in shaping a sustainable future. So without further ado, we welcome Lara to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. Very shortly, we will be enjoying a panel discussion on building lifelong learning skills and competencies for sustainable development. And so I thought I would take this opportunity to share some insights from my work on how we can build those competencies through universities. But first, a little exercise. I'd like you all to imagine yourself in this very spot 50 years ago today. Undoubtedly, none of you would recognize your surroundings. Some modest buildings, shipping containers, shipping ports, and sand dunes as far as the eye can see would be expected. Now, achieving this level of development over such a short period of time has been no small feat. In part, thanks to the smart investment of hydrocarbon resources, the region has been able to enjoy accelerated rates of development over a short period of time. I would like to also propose, though, that a key ingredient for success here has been smart cooperation between governments and civil society, between public and private sectors, between countries and international organizations. Now, in terms of collaborating and engaging all aspects of society towards a common goal, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development calls for unprecedented levels of cooperation from all aspects of society. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals can act as our shared paradigm to approach the world's most pressing challenges for sustainable development. Not only that, they can guide us in the development of policies that can shape environmental sustainability, economic development, and social justice. Now, just over 3 years down the line, we have seen strong buy-in from governments, civil society, the private sector, and international organizations around the goals. And understandably so. These goals are a signal to society that we must all be proactive in shaping an inclusive and sustainable world. But for success, I think it's very important that trusted institutions that have good reputations in society are put in positions to champion these goals in their local context, develop targeted solutions to sustainable development, and get buy-in from the public. In light of this, in 2012, the Sustainable Development Solutions Network was established under the auspices of the United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon and under the leadership of Professor Jeffrey Sachs of Columbia University. As a network, we aim to mobilize knowledge institutions worldwide with a specific focus on universities to advance global discourse on sustainable development and help produce transformative solutions that can achieve these goals by 2030. So far, our network boasts 900 member institutions who are committed to the Sustainable Development Goals. And we have 30 national and regional networks, which we call SDSNs, that convene local actors to help inform policy decisions in their local contexts. So, through my work, I have seen firsthand the remarkable impact institutions can have when they rally around the SDGs. And I want to advocate the same to all of you so that you can drive your communities by making partnerships with universities to drive forward this meaningful and ambitious agenda. So, why universities? Of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, education can be seen as a force multiplier. Knowledge institutions are key drivers and catalysts for all key development parameters: health and well-being, meaningful livelihoods, economic security, and the fulfillment of human potential. Arguably, none of the SDGs will be achieved without this sector. They are the main institutions globally for the generation of new scientific, technological, and social scientific knowledge, the passing of that knowledge to future generations, and the analysis of public policies outside of the political sphere. Universities are the institutions that train the teachers who inform our children's education. They prepare our engineers to build our hospitals, schools, and cities, and also can diagnose local development challenges and provide remedies. Engaging with the SDGs can also greatly benefit universities themselves by capturing demand for SDG-related education, by also and helping demonstrate university impact, help build new partnerships, access new funding streams, and distinguish universities as responsible and globally aware institutions. So, to quote Jeffrey Sachs, universities in the Arab region, building on great historic traditions of learning and ethics, are well positioned to advance the SDGs in the coming years. And I couldn't agree more. I would like to, in light of this, outline 4 ways that universities can engage with the SDGs in their local and international contexts by drawing examples from a report produced by Monash University, host of SDSN's Australia, New Zealand, and Pacific Network. The first area where universities can engage on the SDGs is to introduce new teaching programs that prepare and inform students on the interdisciplinary challenges of sustainable development, all the while equipping students with the knowledge, motivation, and skills to take on these goals in their future careers. These educational offerings should be inclusive, affordable, and accessible, with an invested effort made to help engage professionals and students from the developing world. So I'd like to draw an example from our network on how this has been done. And I'd like to talk specifically about the University of Siena, host of SDSN's Mediterranean Network, who last year partnered with the SDG Academy, a leading platform for sustainable development, who teaches courses that are led by the world's leading experts on the subject. Together, they've developed a massive online open course entitled Sustainable Food Systems, a Mediterranean Perspective, which aims to tackle agro-food challenges in the region and enjoys the inputs of several different countries across the Mediterranean and beyond to ensure inclusive representation of all views that are relevant to better understanding the challenges there. So far, the course has managed to reach over 2,000 learners from 100 different countries, just demonstrating how adopting innovative technologies and approaches to education can help spread the message of sustainable development far and wide. The second example I would like to draw from is how universities can engage in research to help diagnose and provide solutions for challenges facing their local contexts. University research on sustainable development can be the basis for understanding these challenges, and governments and private actors can capitalize on the rich knowledge inherent within these institutions and help forge long-lasting strategic partnerships around the SDGs. The Universidad Autónoma de Madrid, who hosts SDSN's Spanish network, is a great example of this. Last year, they came together with stakeholders all over Spain to define indicators for the SDGs that are relevant to their local context. They measure the progress of 100 municipalities in their achievement towards the SDGs. And this report will now serve in the future as a benchmark for progress for government and decision makers in the region to be able to diagnose and identify priority areas year on year. The third is to create new organizations at the university level who can then adopt and translate the SDGs into their very institution. This can be done through adopting the SDGs into organizational practices, policies and decision making, and just the general running of the university. So the example I'd like to draw from here is from one of SDSN's members, the University of Copenhagen, who some years ago developed a Green Campus Strategy 2020 to help align their university with climate realities moving forward into 2020. Thus far, the university has been able to achieve a 64% reduction in carbon emissions as a result of this strategy, and has been able to reduce waste by 33%. And looking forward, I know that the University of Copenhagen is looking to advance this ambition even further to take us to 2030. The fourth way that universities can meaningfully engage on the SDGs is through is through external leadership by facilitating cross-cultural and cross-sectoral dialogues around these goals and enabling multi-stakeholder relationships that can facilitate well-designed policies for sustainable development in local contexts. Now, I need not look very far to give you an example of this. We are all sitting here today convened by the Mohammed bin Rashid School of Government, a new and valued SDSN member, who have partnered with the Federal Competitiveness and Statistics Authority to bring you all here today and have shared conversations and plot a shared vision for the sustainable development of the Arab region and beyond. Ultimately, the spirit that has brought this region to where it is today is the same spirit that will help it shape its impact on sustainable development: cooperation. Fortunately, the Arab region is characterized by its shared traditions and common Arabic language, which create a fertile ground for cooperation and can facilitate a scale and pace of development that is truly exciting. I would also like to propose that the SDGs can act as a second language in the region that can be utilized for positive and constructive problem solving. As an Arab, I am very confident in the institutions that have thus far helped the region to thrive, and a newfound excitement of how universities can be engaged to advance this agenda here at home. And I would like to invite you all to look to your left and your right today. Say hello to your fellow change makers. Make plans to go back home and engage your universities around this meaningful agenda and make the SDGs a reality in 2030. Thank you.
Thank you, Lara. We will ask you not to go too far because you are staying, of course, for the next panel. Some really interesting points there, especially that last one about cooperation as we honor the Year of Tolerance here in the UAE. Now, we have heard that a few of you weren't quite aware that there were translation services available. The next panel is going to be in English, so if you would prefer to listen to it in Arabic, we have some fantastic translators working today. You can find a headset near the door to have this panel in Arabic. As Lara mentioned, this next panel is going to be on education and the role that plays in the SDGs. As with yesterday, we will play a short video to give you some context around this and invite the moderator and the panelists to the stage. Thank you.